Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Bro Country, the Virus Edition, a.k.a. the Panty Boats.
AKA two guys. What was it? No fries?
No. Someone had a great one today. I'm going to look it up. Keep going, some AKA.
AKA two bros, no hose.
Uh-huh.
AKA, when I say hose, I mean a garden hose.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, by the way, I need to buy a new garden hose.
Do you?
And I might chronicle that on Twitter.
Two bros, one garden hose.
True. Two fellas, no mela yellas.
Mm-hmm. Come on, I can't find this.
Two blokes, some jokes.
Sklars and no real girl.
Sklars and no real girl.
That's
I
a
like
great
that
one.
That's
a great
solid
one. It's a winner. Winner.
I brought a festive shirt to the party.
I love it. We kind of switched a little bit. I'm wearing my Tony Gwynnick. You can spray the ball around to all feels like Tony Gwynnick. Pam Minnick. We are happy to give you that brief little respite in your day, 20, 30 minutes in a day where we can at least give you time to not think about death tolls, to not think about reopening of economies, to not think about masks and protests and this and that, unless we're going to make fun of it.
If we make fun of it, then you can think about it.
You can think about it when we make fun of it, and that is what we're here to do. We got some great stories, and we're just going to jump right on in. How are other countries handling COVID around the world? And I love when like China says like we don't have any new cases. I'm like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's like my.
We
kid.
don't have any new cases that we're talking about.
That's like a 14-year-old boy saying like I wasn't jerking off. Yeah, you were.
The water was running.
You were. Like
you took a 27-minute
you
shower.
You don't understand that everybody knows that you were. So yes, know. China, you do have death. I feel like Sweden may not be handling COVID-19 very well.
Which is shocking because you would feel like Sweden would be the kind of country where like, oh, you're evolved. You're a Nordic country.
Right, exactly. We put all the people who are suffering from it on cross-country skis.
Or like you would think that Sweden would come out with like, we haven't had a murder here in like 11 years. And you're like, all right.
Okay,
yeah,
Sweden.
Maybe.
So here's the deal. Denmark kind of clamped down and said, all right, everybody shelter in place and we're going to close down the businesses and this and that. Sweden, on the other hand, right next door to Denmark, said, we are going to do the herd immunity system.
Which means we're not locking down anything.
Hopefully people will get it and enough people will get infected with it that they'll build up an immunity, and that's the way it goes. It's just like leave it up to, I guess, God or whoever you believe in.
Yeah, whatever.
And it's worked horribly. Like Denmark has had very little death and Sweden has had, for Sweden, I mean, it's not American numbers. It's not like 70,000 people have died. We're talking about
a few thousand.
Maybe in a couple month period, like 7,500 people. It's still bad.
That's a lot of people.
Again, for the size of Sweden and for the amount of people in there, it was not. They made the wrong choice.
Right.
So it didn't work.
Well, they made the convenient choice. They made a choice.
They made a choice that they're like, yes, they're like the parent who didn't set limits for their kids because it was too hard.
Right.
Now, it seems that currently they are trying to use unconventional methods to try and stop large groups from gathering. They think they have to stop people from gathering, but they're not going to do it by just saying you can't come
stay
in
home.
here.
Right. They're not ordering people to stay home.
In parks, for instance, April 30th, this is from the UPI, I appreciate them. Officials in Sweden, in a Swedish city, say that they are dumping more than a ton of chicken poop on a popular park to deter revelers from gathering to celebrate a popular holiday.
So they're like, you know what is really hard is going to people and saying, hey, this disease is killing people.
Or you just can't.
This year, we're just not going to have it. We're not going to have this popular holiday.
Or let's postpone
to celebrate
it.
in a new way.
We'll do it a different time.
We'll do it at a different time. We'll celebrate at home. We'll have a new version of what we're doing. You got to stay home.
The spirit of it will still be there.
Right.
Revel in your apartment. Rave in your apartment.
That's the hard thing to do. The easy thing to do is just get tons of
chicken shit and just
dump it.
Destroy the park.
And chicken shit, it's funny because
chicken shit is what you call someone who's doesn't
afraid.
Have
you don't have the guts
to do the right thing.
That's right.
That's
You're
right.
chicken shit. Mm-hmm. And that's what they dumped on this park.
Make it so no one will ever want to go in that park ever again, because once you get the smell of chicken poop in your nose, it's like I went to the Grand Canyon in the summertime and I went in the wintertime. I went in the summertime. We walked down a little bit in the Grand Canyon. And I'll say this about the Grand Canyon, okay? It's got grand in the name. That is a high bar.
Delivered.
way better than I thought it would be.
Really?
Better than I thought it would be, and I had a huge. It had a
build
huge
up.
bar.
Everyone loves it. Brady
It's
Bunch, Lost in the
majestic.
Canyon.
Exactly. I start walking down in the summertime, and there is the smell of mule shit in the air. It gets in your nose, it gets on your lips, it gets in your mouth. Like you cannot get rid of it. So I went back to the Grand Canyon in the wintertime, and for a brief period of time while I was there in the winter, I smelled it. Not a mule in sight. And I smelled it. I was like, okay.
Was
so
that sensory memory?
I think so.
So you're saying these people are they're gonna scar this park, this beautiful place
in the city of Lund
forever because they can't tell people to stay at home.
The city of Lund, which I guess they make the teddy bears, which annually draws crowds measuring in the tens of thousands to celebrate Walpurgis Night. Or Walpurgis Night.
Walpurgis Night, I think is what
in its Central Park, said chicken manure is being spread across the park to prevent revelers from gathering to celebrate the Thursday night.
This feels like a prank rather than a deterrence.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
This feels like senior prank. What are we going to do? We're going to get tons of chicken shit. We're
Who's
going to rub
gonna
it all over Gary Mazzola's office, and he's going to have
That's
to deal with
and
it.
then he's going to get in his car, and it's all popcorn.
Right.
Here's the thing. Who is going to do the spreading? Who do you get to do
How
the
do you
spreading?
gather the chicken shit? How do you just...
Awful job. You just wait for
but do you
chickens to go to the bathroom?
you wait for chickens to go to the bathroom, or do you go to local
Neighbor
farms and be like, "Hey,
we need your
we
do you
need your
buy
help
it?
on this thing"?
So maybe this is a way to
Doesn't
pay
this
farmers.
seem like a massive concerted effort that you have to make that has nothing to do
Wal-
with?
So do you know what Walpurgis Night is?
What is it?
And I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to say Walpurgis or Walpurgis, a spring festival that has roots in ancient pagan tradition.
Okay, well that's
It's celebrated annual on the last night of April. That was the thing. It already happened. So they already did it.
right.
You better check to see if that's going to deter them chicken shit. Because if they're going pagan,
If it's a pagan ritual, chicken
that may
shit
be
might be part of it. Yeah.
You know, that might create the ambience. So
Is this Swedish Burning Man?
I don't know.
Is this?
I think Swedish
Burning
Burning Man is Burning Man,
Yeah.
which there is no Burning Man this year. Gustav Lundblad. Is that the greatest name ever? Gustav Lundblad is every James Bond villain who has not yet been made.
I love these shoes. Do you have them in Lundblad?
Yeah.
That feels like an oxblood
Did you bring your Gustav Lundblad pillow?
No.
That's the one that's genetically engineered to
for
fit
your head? Yes, I did not bring it, but that's why I literally can't sleep at a hotel.
Gustav Lundblad, chairman of the Lund Council's Environmental Committee, said the chicken poop serves multiple purposes.
What purposes can it serve? It's not dinner.
Well, it's fertilizer for the ground.
That's what he says?
And deterrent. So multiple is a bit of a misnomer.
Two purposes.
It serves two purposes.
It has a bifurcated purpose.
Don't make it sound better than it is.
It has a dual purpose.
It's got a ton.
It's got a dual purpose.
Dude, it's got a ton of purposes.
Number one,
fertilizer.
Number two,
it deters people from going to the park. And that's it. Quote, we get the opportunity to fertilize the lawns, and at the same time, it will stink, and so it might not be so nice to sit and drink beer in the park, Lundblad told
I love how other countries, like, they don't even mess with, like, trying to beat around the bush. Like, if it was America, if it was, they'd be like, well, we need to fertilize, and it just so happens that it happened to be around this time. Like, this guy's, like, laying out the plan.
What's the problem as well. And he also, I love that they think that drinking beer is the only thing that's going to go on. Like, there will be hardcore MDMA and drugs going on in that park at that time. If it's a pagan festival, ayahuasca will be running wild. He conceded the effort might have some unintentional side effects to nearby residents. You think you're living on that park? How terrible would that be?
Would I be
How
so mad?
terrible would that be? Get ready to never open your windows ever again. He says, I'm not a fertilizer expert.
But you are peddling in shit.
But I play one on TV. But as I understand it, it's clear that it might smell a bit outside the park as well.
I'm not a fertilizer expert. Don't start any sentence with that.
I'm not a fertilizer
expert.
expert.
Might means it will. And if you live around that thing, get ready to start suing the city.
That's right. I'm not a fertilizer expert. That doesn't mean you don't have access to fertilizer expert people. Like, you should call in a fertilizer expert.
Get that person in and say, look, this is going to affect a 1 mile radius.
Gather some facts. Like, understand what this is going to do. Lundblad said, these are chicken droppings after all. I cannot guarantee that the rest of the city will be odorless. Of course you can't. But then again, you're no fertilizer expert. Talk to one. Maybe you
find out.
Maybe you could guarantee it if that
Who
was
knows
the
if
case.
the wind blows that day? Like,
By the
what
way,
do you get?
chicken droppings sounds very cute. Chicken droppings to me sound like the little crusty parts of, like, at the bottom of the bucket of a bucket of fried chicken. The little crispy. Those are
Skin?
chicken droppings.
Chicken droppings.
So good. Chicken droppings. But the point is to keep people out of the park, is what he said. Again,
You could, by the way, ask them to not be in the
this
park.
seems like an
You could
elaborate.
set up some cops and
set
say,
some barriers
and just be
at
like,
every entrance of the park and say you can't come
it's
in.
not happening. If you come in, you get arrested. That's
Right.
the end of the story.
That's it.
You could be making money
By the way, that would
on
not
arrests instead of
that wouldn't
spending money
and
on
that wouldn't
poop.
smell at all.
No.
Instead of spending money on the people suing the city for making it smell bad. You could order people to stay home.
It is. This plan is at once lazy and ambitious, all in one.
There's so much that goes to it. It's like it's like,
Remember Driver 23?
yeah.
I don't know if this is a recommendation for you guys. If you can get a hold of this, Driver 23 is a documentary about a guy who is
In a band.
heavy metal band in Minneapolis, and he is also
Also
driver
like a
number
UPS
23,
driver.
like a
USPS
package delivery.
driver, yeah.
Driver 23. And this guy would create so many little workarounds and like ways to get the
workaround.
gear out of the basement. It was
Pulleys,
only like
a system of pulleys.
system of pulleys and pulling things up like a ramp. Meanwhile, it's like 3 steps. So you could, just bear down and pick the stuff up and carry it up 3 steps. Instead, this thing is like twice the physical work. It's breaking banisters. It takes 5 hours to like set it up. It's like putting holes in walls, and he's like committed to doing it. Just carry the gear up the 3 steps.
It's like the Swedish people are the girlfriend that the Swedish government doesn't want to piss off.
Right.
So they're like trying to figure out.
Or they're like, don't
break up with
her.
me. So I'm gonna do everything I can not to bother her.
Yeah, let's just.
I don't want to bother her, so we'll just
How mad is she going to
Maybe
be if
we
we say
can
she can't have the party?
gently tell her
Or
that.
it's not even like a girlfriend. It's like the parents of a super spoiled kid.
Yep.
And they're just like, we will not set a limit.
We won't. And so the kid, maybe
Well, let's just like
let's
plot
just make
to
it so
ruin
that
their
the
life.
that the kid doesn't want to go there. That's what they're trying to do. It seems so cockamamie.
It's so funny, and it also doesn't seem very Swedish.
And it's exactly in line with their method of trying to solve Corona. Let's just have people gather together, and hopefully it'll work itself out in the end. It's not going to work itself out.
Let's take a bad idea and see it through.
You're dumping chicken droppings on everything, literally and figuratively, Sweden. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
You gave us the score bar. You're better than that. All right, let's take a break. People ask us, what are some podcasts that you should be listening to, that we are listening to? We got one for you right now. Our good friends at Mega. Mega is a fantastic improvised podcast.
This is such
about
a funny
mega
podcast.
church.
These guys are hilarious, Holly and Greg. They're so funny.
Yeah.
And the characters that they play are hilarious. And also all the people who traverse that universe, some of the biggest and best names in improvising in the world.
I would say this, that end of days time, like it feels like at times this is.
Totally.
Is literally, this is their time to shine.
This is the time to get on board with this podcast. Check out this voicemail and then subscribe to their podcast and jump on board. And we'll be back with another story right after this.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Randy.
It's Holly and Greg from Mega.
Normally people would hear us as our characters, Hallie and Gray, but this week we decided to be ourselves because, guys, I have huge news. I got my stitches out.
Why did he have stitches, you might ask? Well, maybe at the beginning of quarantine, I accidentally, in the kitchen, dropped a very sharp, very pointy, very heavy 10-inch kitchen knife into the top of his bare foot, causing him to get a tetanus shot, x-rays, and 5 stitches.
Let me tell you, going to the Hollywood walk-in clinic in the middle of a pandemic, not as much fun as you think it would be.
but I think we're out of the woods. So anyway, we've been messing around with some new formats while we're in quarantine, including our upcoming episode where we have called on a few of our musically inclined friends to create some parodies of Christian rock songs.
Good Lord, they are super good. I've had this one called Happy Endings stuck in my head all day.
And we are firing up an old feud with Glenn Phillips from Toad the Wet Sprocket.
All that will be explained and more. Check out Mega every Sunday on the Sklar Bro Network, baby.
Stay safe out there, brothers.
And he said, you gotta let the cello sing. And he said, you gotta let the cello sing.
Guys, want to talk to you about something that is super important. It is your mental health. This is Mental Health Awareness Month.
So now's the time to take stock. You may be feeling an inordinate amount of anxiety.
We all carry around anxiety, and some people more than others. And now we have the world's anxiety on those shoulders.
If you're quarantining alone, you might be lonely. If you are in a relationship with someone and you're quarantining with someone too quickly, then that might be a difficult thing.
If you're in a long-term relationship or you're hanging around your kids in a way that isn't something you normally do, and that's causing you strife, and that's causing you to feel anxious, you need to talk to someone. You need to have a release valve, and our sponsor on the show is the perfect place to start.
Well, you understand your wife is a therapist.
My wife is a therapist, and her business has gone up. And part of that is because people need to reach out and they need a release valve and they need to talk with someone. And it is a beautiful way for you to get your feelings out and maybe not hurt or hit or get intense with the people in your life. So
it's a wonderful release.
It's a great thing. Talkspace, we can't say enough good things about it.
Talkspace is an online therapy, and they are more committed than ever to expanding access to support for anyone who's struggling. With Talkspace, you get the support of a licensed therapist from the safety of your own home, and you can reach out from your device whenever something is on your mind. That means you can send a text to your therapist, audio, picture, video messages from your phone or computer 24/7, as much as you need to. Everything happens within Talkspace's secure platform.
That's right.
All on your schedule. They will match you with a licensed therapist based on your specific needs and preferences. They have thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties, including really important ones right now: anxiety, depression, and relationship issues. Once you've been matched, you can begin your therapy the very same day. So it is fast, it is safe. You do it from your home, and you can contact them as many times as you want. In honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, Talkspace Online Therapy is committed to fostering a global community around the importance of mental health. It is so important right now. We need each other, and we need Talkspace right now. This crisis has reminded us that we're all vulnerable. It's okay to reach out for support. We're telling you guys that, and they can connect you with the licensed therapist.
If you're a listener of our show, you get $100 off your first month of
Talkspace. To match you with your perfect therapist, just go to Talkspace.com or download the app. Make sure to use the code SKLAR. You get $100 off. It lets them know that we sent you there. We care about you. We want you to feel better. Again, go to Talkspace.com and enter the code SKLAR for $100 off your first month. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Want to mention as well, we have the YouTube page, Sklar Bro Country. If you go to YouTube, type in Sklar Bro Country, you can see our little page comes up. Subscribe to it. We would love to have you tool around on it. We've got a ton of great stuff on that page. We've got Cheap Seats episodes. We found our old show Held Up that we did on Crackle, which was a 16 5-minute web series
which we strung together and made a movie out of it. But
so many good
we'll
people.
release each of the episodes. Amazing people in that. We're trying to get some episodes of Back on Tops, which was another series that we did a while back.
We have old stand-up, like a whole hour of stand-up that we did in 2009 we'll put on there. Just great stuff for you to tool around. People have told us that they've really enjoyed spending time just cruising around. Again, the Cheap Seats episodes alone are worth it. So check that out. It's YouTube, and you go to Sklar Bro Country. I want to mention another movie that we did a tiny little thing in that was so much fun. We did a little voiceover in. It's tiny, but it was a blast to do. And again, if you're listening to this podcast, you support people who are doing things independently.
Independent art.
You should support our friend Kestrin Pantera. Our friend Eva Kim was one of the producers on it. So many great actors in this movie. Melanie Hutzel, just really good. Milana Weintraub, just great people in this movie called Mother's Little Helpers. You can check it out. I posted something on our Facebook, Sklar Brothers Facebook page, but check that movie out. It's great. And we just want to support our friends. So that's a little something else for you to enjoy.
Available on iTunes, correct?
Available on iTunes. Yes, you can get it anywhere. iTunes, Vimeo, anywhere you want to check that stuff out. All right. Let's get into this last story, shall we?
Florida.
Well, there's one person that Florida beaches themselves can't get with, and therefore immediately
I'm like, I love you. Yes,
I approve of him
yes.
immediately. All right, this is a dude that we love. He's being creative and he's getting his message out to the public
in a creative way.
May 4th, may the 4th be with you. A Florida man. And usually it devolves from there. It's like a Florida man tried to have sex with an alligator. No.
All right, no. A Florida man sticks snake in own penis.
Okay.
Right.
Florida man is protesting the governor's decision. That's usually a bad thing. But then when you think about who's the governor, Ron DeSantis, great thing. He's on the right side of the argument. Protesting a decision to reopen the state's beaches by visiting the shore dressed as the Grim Reaper.
I love this guy.
Killer idea. Very Monty Python, by the way. Monty Python, the scene where the Grim Reaper comes to the door and collects the souls of the people there because they ate the salmon moose.
Well, why did we die? It was the salmon moose. And someone's like, I didn't even
have
eat the salmon
but
moose.
she goes anyway, and then they get in their cars and the souls of the cars drive away. That's just brilliant. It's brilliant on every level. So if you're going to hearken to that, we're on your side. It's just perfect. Daniel Ulfelder, I already like him. Uhfelder turned heads Friday, Saturday.
Felder if you'll Felder.
That's right. We'll all Felder for Ulfelder.
Yes.
At beaches across Walton County when he donned the death costume and wandered the sand to protest the reopening of the beaches amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
This guy's being safe. He's not
What's
gonna
wrong with that? He's got a mask on.
He's not going to get a sunburn.
No.
Grim Reaper always protected. Mm-hmm. Look, he's just wandering the beach. I mean, you can't tell him he can't do that.
What, you can't wear a costume to the beach? If someone dressed as a giant hot dog and walked along the beach, you'd be like, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Look at this wiener.
Funny guy.
The Grim Reaper, and he's got a sickle, and he's walking through the beach and just walking around, just being ominous about everybody who's there. To me, that is
hilarious.
That
is a piece of public theater.
Exactly.
I love it.
It's improving. There's so much that goes into that. All the dummies at the beach. You're being reminded that you're at
on death's door. Yes, this guy's going to take you out.
The Grim Reaper quote represents death. This is a deadly virus. It's a global pandemic. Ulfelder told WMBB TV. How happy were they that they had a story?
Preach, baby. Preach.
Preach, Reaper.
Preach it.
Ulfelder, a lawyer, so he knows his rights ostensibly, although he is a lawyer
But he's also not like just a crazy crack addict.
No,
this is a guy who has a job.
That's right. He wants residents to reconsider foregoing self-isolation while the coronavirus continues to spread. He's got a great message.
I love him.
So he knows his legal rights. He's well within his own personal jurisdiction to wear a costume at the beach. Again, he's wearing a mask, so he is actually
being socially responsible.
That's right. Love this guy. Gonna assume he's single because if he was married, his wife would have laughed and said, honey. And that would have been it, right?
Right.
In such a way that told him not to do it. Nope. He's got to be single.
Yeah.
He's got to be single.
He is, I'm sure.
Quote, people are going to get hurt. And that's what I'm here for. Well, wait a minute. Don't say that. Don't say that. I'm sure
you're going to get hurt.
And that's what I'm here for. That's as a legal.
Just rephrase that.
Fix your briefs.
People could die.
And I want to prevent that.
Or
people are going to get hurt. That's what I'm here for is maybe not the thing you say.
Not a great quote.
I wish I didn't have to do this, but nobody else is doing it. Well, that also doesn't make sense either. This is like
he's making it sound like he doesn't have a choice.
Can I write his thing?
He needs help in the PR department. But I love his
I'm talking directly to you, Ulfelder. Okay, and if you see this, Grim Reaper, we're gonna put a little clip of this on our Instagram. I want you to respond back to us, Ulfelder. But the deal here's what you should have said. People are making stupid decisions, and I needed to be the guy to remind them of that. I wish I didn't have to, but they're so goddamn dumb in Florida. I got to wear this costume and sweat my ass off to go tell them they're acting like idiots.
And by the way, he's just walking down the beach peacefully.
Yep.
Reminding people that they are going to die.
He's not yelling in people's faces.
Nope.
He's not putting them at risk.
He's not spitting on cops.
He's reminding them that death is among them. Death walks among them.
Soaking in the rays.
Hanging 11?
10?
I don't know. 11 is the sickle 11? I don't know.
So he tweeted a video, right? Of
Sunday showing his encounter with the police officer who said a beachgoer had complained about his costume frightening children.
Oh.
Is that what it is?
Is that what's frightening your kids? Here's something else that might frighten your kids. They're carriers of the death disease.
That's right.
They'll kill your father.
Meanwhile,
your kids.
you parents are putting your kids at risk.
And the rest of our country at risk. You're
And-
making
and-
it impossible for us to reopen in a safe way.
And this guy's the asshole. That was my favorite part about this whole story. That a cop said someone complained because their kids were kind of scared.
You're putting your kids at risk. You're the asshole.
Exactly. Don't bring your kids to the beach. Don't do it right now. You can do it in the future.
Or if you bring your kids to the beach, shut up about a Grim Reaper walking around.
That's right. You got no
Did
complaint.
he kick
What-
sand in your face?
No.
Did he steal your Cheetos or whatever you're eating, your flame Cheetos on
Yeah.
the beach?
Your Takis?
No.
No.
He
So
didn't
then
do that.
shut up
Yeah.
and let him reap. Let the grim man reap.
Let a man reap.
Reap. Reap.
Reap.
There you go. All right, that's the show.
I love it.
It's kind of a tight show today, but
I
it's
love
fine.
it.
It's a little
Fantastic.
something. We love you guys. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for subscribing to it if you subscribe to it
Rate
on
it,
iTunes.
rate it, review it.
Keep us up in the old mix there. It's growing. Tell a friend about it, and we'll continue to give these things to you. Have a nice. This one will go out on Thursday.
Yes.
So we're not at the weekend yet, but we're almost there.
You guys are doing it. You're through
you're
another week.
hanging
This is
in.
the ninth week. The
That's right.
ninth week of a
I thought
lockdown.
this was the 8th week.
Eighth week?
This is the 8th week.
Eighth week of the lockdown.
Well, we're almost through it. So good job. Go punch a water faucet. Go wash your hands. Stay connected. Those stay socially distant.
Don't get infected.
Stay protected, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.